So we'll just start with meditation and take a nice deep breath in. Close our eyes, feel our feet firmly planted. Feel the surface supporting you, holding you as you release and let go. That nice deep breath all the way down into your belly, fueling your entire body with oxygen and health and love. Take a couple more nice deep breaths in. Feel them in your heart, that beautiful love center. As you continue breathing deep into your heart, feeling that love expand. You feel yourself connected with the divine, that energy residing within you. And it continues to expand, warm your body and soul. It's like your body melts away, your ego is gone. There is nothing else except this expansive, pure love. See how that love touches other people like a candle, lighting this beautiful web of God's love, blanketing the world in love and healing. Nice deep breath. And another one. As this web goes all the way across the world, you can visualize a little hug. Give it a squeeze. Imbuing it with your intention for health and healing. And still seeing this beautiful web of light and connection, you're going to be more aware of your own being, your own soul, your own spark, back in your own body, sitting or laying, however you are in this moment. We'll take a deep breath of gratitude for the opportunity to feel this love and be so connected with the divine. With another nice deep breath, you come more present, more aware in this space. With another nice deep breath, open your eyes and connect with us here together in worship for this moment, this day, in love and joy.
Has the world gone crazy, or is it me? Am I seeing the truth, or is crazy using me? Do I stand and fight? Do I run and Please, God, won't you help me find peace inside? Well, the light knows nothing of the darkness, like the rain knows nothing of a drought. But they're held in perfect balance, in perfect time and perfect place, by love in peace and grace. Let it be me, let me be still, in peace and clarity. Let it be all in unity, as in heaven, so on earth. See the peace that love intends. Well, the news hammers away at conflict. They like to hammer away at strife. If I let it twist me up inside, then I've surely lost the fight. I need to keep my head in a race that can only be won by seeing the glory of God and divinity in each one. Because love knows nothing of hatred. So when we choose our place, let it be a place where peace abides, so we don't lose our way. Let's keep our heads and move in grace. Please, God, won't you help us find peace inside? Peace on the inside, peace on the outside, love on the inside, love on the outside, peace. Peace.
I get to talk with you today about love. I'm Reverend Krystal Jakosky, and I'm thrilled to be with you today. I'm thrilled to share my thoughts and the things that have come over the last little while as I've ruminated on what I want to talk about today and what I really want to share with you and what needs to come across. Spirit has been very happy to share and inspire this week, which has been fantastic, and I'm very grateful for that. The word love is, I don't know, it has the ability to sound super dreamy, like love. Love is so. Sometimes you think of cherubs, you think of angels that are flying. It's a simple word, it's a 4-letter word, but it holds a lot. There's like this promise in it, there can be joy in it. There's peace in the feeling of love, knowing that you've got that love. What exactly does it hold for you? The word holds things. Some people say that love is universal, that everyone knows and understands it. Other people say that we really need to break it down into specific actions, and we need to learn how to speak in each other's language, as though love is not universal and that we need to break it down. So which one is it? My husband and I, we love to watch movies at the Christmas season. And I love Christmas movies. They just make me happy. Sometimes, yes. Sometimes Hallmark. And then we have our traditional ones like White Christmas, and I like to watch The Grinch. And Love Actually is a Christmas movie that we watch. And the beautiful thing about Love Actually is how it analyzes a range of relationship loves, from young love, as in very young kids, 12 years old, and people who have been married for years and years, or people in their 40s and 50s who are finding a first love kind of thing. It explores all of the different types of relationship love. Some of the relationships are kind of falling apart and on shaky ground. Relationship love is in and of itself a complete world that we can explore. And I'm sure we've all seen those movies where people are falling in love and they're like, is this love? Like, what does love actually feel like? I don't know what it feels like. I have butterflies in my stomach, or I'm anxious all the time, or I have this deep need, this burning yearning to be with that person all the time, or I just want to make them happy. They bring me so much joy. I want to bring them joy as well. We get to explore this word. Regardless, even though it's supposed to be universal, we use it in so many different ways. One evening, as we were chatting, my husband and I, we cooked dinner together, and I do all the chopping of the vegetables and he does all the heat. And as we were chatting, we talked about love a little bit. And then later, we were getting ready for bed, and he said, I think I use love kind of as a little bit of a stand-in word. There's sometimes that you say something or you do something or you've created a space for us. And I just don't want to express all of those words. And so it comes out as, I love you. Because there's so much more behind it, but love kind of wraps it up in a tidy little package, and then we go on with the rest of our day. So I get these little I love yous throughout the day. And now that I know he does this, I'm like, what is it that you love about this moment? Like, I want to know in your brain, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? And I wonder if all of us do that. Do we look at somebody and in that moment we're like, gosh, I love you. What's behind that? What made you feel that emotion and have that thought that I love you is the way that you can express that in that moment? Wow, I just love you in this. I'm going to take a side rabbit hole for just a second. READ. What is that word? Right? Is it read or is it read? LEAD. Lead or led. PRESENT. Present, present, present tense, or a gift. These are homophones. They're words that the majority of languages have, and they look the same or they sound the same, but they mean very different things. And I think that love is one of these words, personally, because when I think of God's love, the idea of butterflies or a desperate yearning or a need does not apply to God's love, right? It makes me happy and joyful, but God's love, compared to using it as a shorthand for I love this specific thing for you. I think it has different meanings. I think it has the ability to be so much more. The type of love that I want to tap in with my higher power is very much a warming blanket kind of love that I want to spread out to other people, right? So, biblical scriptures that talk about love, like let's dive in a little bit into this God's love. One that we all know is love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast, it is not proud, it doesn't dishonor others, and is not self-seeking. It starts with love is patient and love is kind, but then it goes into all of these things that love is not. Okay? Are you struggling to define love? Because we want to know what it is. It goes on to say, love bears all things, love hopes all things, and love endures all things. Wanting to know what love is, I go back to the fact that I really want love. When I sit down and think about it, love for me really is this warm feeling inside. And it spreads and expands. It's like when I go up to my husband and he's been outside shoveling the snow or something, and his ears are cold, but my hands are warm, and I get to share my warmth with him, and I get to warm up his ears a little bit because my hands are warm, but yours are cold. So I get to share my warmth. I get to share my love, that expansion of that warmth. And sharing it with warming his ears up is a very literal way to say I get to share my love, but even that act in and of itself is saying I love you, right? Okay, moving on. There's the one that we all know, love one another as I have loved you. And this one takes on whatever perspective of a divine power that you believe in, right? Love one another as I have loved you. How did my divine power love me? If you have a perspective that it's judgmental and that you are less down and need to strive to achieve, then you're not feeling loved by that power, right? Which means that we have to figure out how to accept and love ourselves. If, on the other hand, which we gratefully are in agreement with, we believe in this higher power, this divine being that is love, that extends this beautiful love to every one of us, then we get to live in that love because we are connected to that love. And if I love you guys the way that that being loves me, how amazing is that? What a gift is that, to come to the realization that I am in him and he is in me, and that connection really easily gets to expand out. Just on the way down here, Jay and I were talking further about love. My mom has a concept, and I'm not going to share it because I'm a little confused by it and I don't think that I can get it across very well. But my husband's concept was beautiful because he viewed himself. I was talking about how sometimes we find ourselves unlovable in society and with people around us. There are parts of us that we say, well, that part's not lovable and that part's not lovable. And he likened it unto a checkerboard, right? So you have the light and the dark spaces, and all of these spaces that are light are the ones that everybody sees. And you're like, yeah, yep, they love me for that, and they love me for that. I'm a decent singer. I'm kind of cute. I dress cute. I whatever. You have these little spaces that everybody can see, and you allow them to love you because that's what it is. And then you have the dark spaces. And these are the spaces that you've kind of like put walls around, and you steer people around. You can move diagonally, but don't move straight forward, because they're the shoulds, they're the failures, they're the parts of us that are kind of a dark hole that maybe somebody's not going to love that part of me. So we always have these parts we love sharing because people will like that. And then we also have the part that we're afraid to share because we don't want people to judge us and say, that's not very lovable, right? We're afraid of that. But John states, there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. So finding that perfect love, finding that acceptance of ourselves in ourselves, because the divine is in us, and so we can just tap into that. Like it's just this really easy thing for us to do. And cast out all the darkness, right? Cast out all the fear, cast out all the worry that we're not lovable. Thinking of my own warmth, the blanket that I want to feel, that warm oozing from my chest that just kind of expands out to everybody else. I can totally see how in that beautiful, comfortable, cozy, warm space, there's no room for fear. It's all comfort and joy and peace. In my early spiritual self-searching studies, I came across Alberto Villoldo, and he wrote a book called The Four Insights, Wisdom of the Earth Keepers. And it's a beautiful book. These Earth Keepers are ancient Peruvian shamans that hold the wisdom of life coming down generations and generations and generations. And I love the statement from his book. He says, to an earth keeper, and I want you to know that all of us on some level are an earth keeper because every one of us is living on this earth and we are responsible for helping the beings on this earth, right? So, to an earth keeper, love is not a feeling or something you barter with. Love is the essence of who you are, and it radiates from you as a brilliant aura. You become love. Practice fearlessness and attain enlightenment. We become love. It's the essence of who we are, and it radiates from us. Have you ever come across a person who just is beautiful and boundless, and there just is this essence about them, and you're like, I just want to hug you and take you home. I just want to put you in a bucket and go and have that with me all the time, because when I'm with you, I just feel seen. I feel loved and cherished. I feel like everything is great. Everything is wonderful. We radiate love. It is something that we can literally give to other people, and it magnifies and it never diminishes what's in here. Never, ever, 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 ever. They say in that statement, we have to practice love. We have to practice fearlessness. We've all heard that practice makes perfect. And I know that if I practice more, I'll struggle less. But practice is practice. It's a little challenging in the beginning, and the more we do it, the easier it gets. And the further we can go between challenging dark spaces that we think, I'm not so lovable. In this vein of thought, my husband shared an article with me. And this article that he shared, it wasn't necessarily an article, it was a big long post that a gentleman put on social media. And he was just sharing it with the world. His name was Eric Newton, and his wife passed away from cancer. But he really wanted to share this experience because 6 weeks before she passed, she had this unbelievable experience that he really wanted to share with the world. She had a fear, and she turned this fear into an insight. The fear was that she wasn't able to connect deeply with the people and relationships that she had in life. That in the time that she had had here, she had connected with people and she had a good friend network, but how deep were those relationships? Then she realized that her own fear, her own living, is what also blocked her from having deeper relationships with people. In his words, she softened and she opened. She began to be with those people who were around her in a kind of total surrender. She was experiencing them without filters. No more filters. Everyone was seen and loved. It was overpowering and humbling beyond measure. If you are faced with somebody who doesn't have filters, who doesn't have barriers, who lets you see them exactly as they are in their entirety, and they accept you in your entirety, How would that be? The idea, just take a moment, right? The way he described it is that shedding her filter and embracing everyone and everything meant there were no more barriers, no more walls, no more holding back. Simple, unabashed love, and it was uncomfortable. It took time, and yet it was amazing because everyone experienced this from her, and then they learned how to do it themselves. In this short 6-week time span, she was able to help other people shed your filters, shed your boundaries, shed those assumptions, and be present in the beauty of you and in the love that you have for everyone that's around you. It means, again, that you have to accept yourself in a raw and honest way so that you can then turn around and do that for other people. This article stuck with me for a few days, and then I held a death cafe. Now, a death cafe is where you get together, you have coffee, tea, and a treat, and you talk about anything end of life that comes up. It's not morbid, it's not depressing, it's stripping away the fear and being with other people that want to acknowledge that it is inevitable, it's going to happen. So we're sitting down and we're talking and everybody is sharing. And this one woman, we'll call her Jane, shared her experience. Her experience fed into this all so beautifully. I asked her if I could share it with you guys today. Jane had a heart issue, and it was a pretty routine, normal heart issue that they didn't think that would be a big deal. They were like, no, we're going to have you in and out of the operating room. It's a routine thing, piece of cake. Don't even worry about it. We'll get it done. Nothing abnormal ever happens in these. You're going to be just fine. Okay, fine. We'll go in and we'll do this. The thing is that she died after hours of hand massaging and trying to shock and everything else that they could do to restart her heart. One half of her heart, her right side, would not start back up. They just couldn't get it to happen. So she was gone. She was experiencing there. She ended up with all these tubes and everything coming out of her body for the next 3 days, lying on a bed, letting these machines keep her body alive while she was between existences. She said what she experienced was a melting of her body and reality here, the perceived reality, the dream that we're living, and an expansion. She was like, everything melted away, and then I just expanded. Like she reconnected with a divine energy, this light. Everything was like gossamer green and gold, indescribable. She couldn't even really put words to the colors that she saw, but her energy just was out there. She recognized that she was connected to that divine universal energy, and she was connected to everyone else. She was connected. She was her husband and the doctor and her son and all these people around her. And all she could feel was this immense love. In this energetic state, all she saw, felt was love. She could see people vibrating in love. This really spoke to me because in my life experience, in my spirituality, I was raised believing that there was this God that was going to judge me, that he was very separate from me, and I can only strive and wish that I could be as perfect as he. But through this spiritual journey of my own, I've come to understand that that's not it at all, and that we are all connected. And for some reason, I've been like, we verbalize that to each other and we're like, yeah, I agree. That's absolutely the way it is. But to hear her talk and to see her aura and her demeanor and her energy as she was sharing this with us, and how pure she was, coming on the heels of this other article that my husband had shared with me of this woman just wanting to be love. You could see it. It was like I had read about it here, and then I'm seeing it right in front of me here. There were no barriers. There were no filters. She was like, this is what happened to me, and I really wish that everybody would recognize that we already are. This body that we're in is a container, but every one of us is this expansive love that we just can't see because we choose not to, because barriers, because whatever it is, we don't see the beauty and the gift and the peace and the purity of this love that we really can all have. We are love. Our natural state is this love. I just thought that was really fantastic. So, I want to share a poem with you that I found in one of my mom's old tidbits books. My grandmother collected all of these little notes and thoughts and poems and whatnot that people had given to her over the years, and then she put them in books. And so I have this little, it's literally called Bits and Pieces, that my grandma put together. And so it's an old book. It's very well loved and worn. And I found this poem in this book because, you know, Spirit was saying, here, have this one, have this one. And it's called Why I Love You by Mary Carolyn Davies. And thinking about this, we are love, thinking about how we are the divine and connected, I read this with a different light than what the woman wrote it for, because she was writing it about her friend. I love you not only for what you are, but for what I am when I am with you. Look at this as you and your divine. I love you not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are making of me. I love you for the part of me that you bring out. I love you for putting your hand in my heaped up heart and passing over all of the foolish and frivolous and weak things that you can't help seeing there, and for drawing out into the light the beautiful, radiant things that no one else had looked far enough to find. I love you for ignoring the possibilities of the fool and weakling in me, and laying firm hold on the possibilities of the good in me. I love you for closing your ears to the discords in me, for adding to the music in me by worshipful listening. I love you because you are helping me to make of the lumber of my life not a tavern, but a temple, and of the words of my everyday not a reproach, but a song. I love you because you have done more than any creed could have done to make me good, and more than any fate could have done to make me happy. You have done it with a touch, without a word, without a sign. You've done it just by being yourself. And perhaps that is what being a friend is, after all. You have touched me. I really love today's statement, and I just want to close with the reminder that it says of I am a divine being, bringing the love of God into the world. I am blessed by love, and I share love's blessing with others. Thanks for letting me be with you today.